which is very, very important in music. Extremely important. What I'd like for you to do is take that rhythmic precision and make it more singing. Okay? So, and you know, the beginning is kind of easy to do, easier because it's that lower register of the flute, and you have this big, beautiful, rich sound. It's harder in places where the note changes are harder, isn't it? Right? A little bit. So what I'd like to do is, let's take a spot, because you have the skills. I can tell you have the skills. Measure 44 on your beautiful E flat. And you're kind of going down the waterfall, per se. You're starting that high note and you're making your way, you're lilting your way down. So this time, I want you to think more of, think of the phrase, the whole arc of the phrase, instead of making sure that each little rhythmic group is precise, because you got your rhythm. It sounds really nice and your musicality is very good. You're an advanced player, so you can take that level and let that musicality come through a little bit more. So let's try it at 44, and I want you to just think about, just let go of worrying so much about the rhythm for a minute and think about the statement, the phrase, the musicality. So how frequently is it typical to have to breathe as often as you did in that phrase in order to not pass out?
I could probably try it in one breath, but I don't know.
Have you ever tried it in one breath?
Not really.
I mean, I'm saying I couldn't play that in one breath on the flute. I could play it in one breath on the oboe, but would you try it in one breath just to see what happens?
Okay.
As a phrasing unit. There was that cohesiveness. And your air, I think because you realized, I'm going to be playing this in one breath, you had the air, you were prepared with your air. And I know flute playing, breathing is different from other wind players, but that was a really beautifully played phrase, and it was much more in the style of the piece. Much more in the style of the piece. And this whole move, this is one of my most favorite pieces. And it's so lilty. And it's just beautiful fluff, but that it's easy for us to listen to and enjoy. It's beautiful fluff. It's much more difficult for the instrumentalists to play because it's, all these different dotted rhythms and dynamics and stuff. But very nice, really, really nicely done.
Thank you.
Very nice.
I'd like to just expand a tiny bit on what you guys just did. And I would like to, I look back to see what happens before you play that, and you have a whole half a measure rest. So when I know that, I'm a clarinetist, and I know that my air is always subject to whether I've been playing continuously for a long time, or whether I have a little window right before I play. And so I'm wondering if we can go back a tiny bit, maybe just 2 measures. Play that G, dot half note into the G, dot a quarter, and during the rest, basically take, so you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. Really take a long breath before you come in. I bet you could get to the end of that phrase and actually put a fermata on the last note if you just really tank up. Okay, we try that? Okay, so start on that G. Yeah. And also it winds up being a you have, because in a wind instrument, the important air is not, yeah, it is important what you're putting out there, but it's important how much you have behind the air that you're playing, pushing that. And another thing to do when it comes to these long lyrical phrases, because you have a very good hold of lyricism. So it's always good to challenge yourself when you're practicing. How long can I hold that? Because what happens with the body, the main goal of the body is to protect your major organs, your heart, your lungs, your brain. And it's going like, no, I will make you faint before I, let those organs get damaged. But if you start to push it a little bit and challenge it to hold it longer and longer, you'll go, oh, is that what you want to do? Okay. So the longer you force yourself to hold some notes sometimes in practice, then it becomes very, very naturalized in your body. It's like training for a race or something. The more you're training, the more you can go further and faster. So I would challenge you to start developing these abilities to play longer phrases, and then all of a sudden you find, wow, this is a piece of cake. I can't believe I didn't play this long before. So nice job. Thank you. Yeah.
Do you do breathing exercises?
What?
Do you do breathing exercises?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I do work with, especially with my flute students. I teach little ones, but where you put your hand on your tummy, feel that diaphragm muscle expand, and you inhale for 4 beats, and the deal is you got to really fill the tank, and then you exhale, and you make a tiger hissing sound. And every time you do it, you extend how long you exhale. So you go for 10 beats, then 15, then 20, then 25, then 30, then 35, then 40. It's a great way, it might drive your family crazy. Don't do it when you're driving the car. Scary sound. But it is a great way to practice without even on your flute, but practice breath control and developing the ability to play those long phrases.
Okay.
Thank you.